What's up, everybody? We're back again. It's episode 286 of the Dad Bod Golf Pod. I got a feeling tonight's episode is going to be pretty electric. It's Kyle and Ben. We're ready to talk a little Ryder Cup, talk a little Live Golf, talk a little PGA Tour, and we're going to have some fun doing it. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Bet Online, the number one sports betting website in the country. I wish there could be some type of line to bet on the argument we're probably about to have. Who comes out on top? I don't know. I would say we're both probably around minus 105. But anyway, you can't bet on us, but you can bet on every other thing, every other sports event at Bet Online. You can live bet. You can traditionally bet. You can do futures bets. You can do all kind of stuff. They even have an online casino. Just use coupon code BLEAV on your initial deposit and you get a 50% bonus. So give them $100. They're going to give you that 100 back to bet with, and then they're going to give you an additional $50 on top of it. So have some fun, win big, and then cash out and go play some more. Bet Online is where the game starts. All right, so the vast majority of the conversations after the PGA Tour seem to have all been directed at Ryder Cup. Who from Live deserves to be on the Ryder Cup? What's the criteria, blah, 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 blah. And there's just been nothing but fighting back and forth over who should be in, who should be out, and all this good stuff. Brooks is number 2 in the points. I think the USGA guy, Wall, who they said, shunned him in the handshake after the photo op or whatever. He says basically, hey, if his points are there, he qualifies, he's in. We'll welcome him. And that kind of seems to be a theme. I think it's strategy. But if you with the whole thing, if you qualify, they're making very well sure that they say those terms.
Yeah.
But I think we just want to talk through like guys like DJ, Taylor Gooch, Bryson, and what we think. Like should they be on the radar as a captain's pick for Zach Johnson? What are the things we like that we've heard? What are the things we dislike that we've heard? And just kind of go from there. So Ben, I think you and I both, if we were the captain and we had captain's picks, I think based off of his past performance, I think just based off his past performance and resume in the Ryder Cup, especially the last one, we'd probably pick DJ regardless, unless he was just really, really like injured or playing terribly. So I don't want to use that as a criteria because that's just I think we'd agree on it. But if you're Zach Johnson and you're trying to pick guys that are playing that are in form right now, that are not auto qualifiers. So you get 6 that are going to be auto qualified, and then you got six captain's picks, I believe. Is there an argument to be made that, maybe DJ is, unless he really just up until now, not like what could happen, just up until now, do you think he's done enough to play his way into earning a captain's pick so far?
Absolutely.
Okay. Talk me through it.
There are things that go on beyond 18 holes of the golf course. Number one, he's made both cuts in both majors. And so he made the cut at the Masters. He made the cut at the PGA. I mean, as far as, being up there at the top, I'm not worried about that. I mean, there are plenty of guys, i.e. Rory, that did not make the cut at the Masters, but DJ did. However, and I texted you this earlier, and I've said this to numerous people, DJ is one of the few golfers that all the Americans have zero bad to say about. And so I think when it comes Ryder Cup, it is a team event. They want a team guy in there. I think DJ is one of those guys that they really want inside the locker room. Not to mention, as far as team events are concerned, that's what Liv is. He's got more experience as a team guy than any of the American guys.
Format, though, but I get what you're saying.
But still, team event. I mean, he's used to being he has been the captain of the team the last 2 years in Liv. So he clearly won it last year. in second place this year as far as where they're headed and what direction they're headed. So I think he's just a guy that you have to have. He's now, people forget, DJ's in his upper 30s. He's an elder statesman. So they kind of need that low key / let's not panic guy. And I think that that's something that Zach Johnson needs to consider whenever he's looking at DJ.
Okay, again, that didn't have a whole lot to do with his merits on how he's played. A lot of that was the resume stuff. But okay, all right, let's just you threw out he's made the cut. He's made the cut in the two majors. Okay, yeah, he had a 55th place finish and a 45th place finish. Not terrible, not stellar. Just there's a lot of guys that have finished higher. So let me just go through the list, okay? And I'm going to go through the list of. So, like I said, 1 through 6 are auto in. Okay. So let's go through who's number 7. Jordan Spieth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you'd pick. Would you pick DJ over Jordan Spieth right now?
No.
Okay. Sam Burns. Would you pick?
To be determined, because he's not been playing well. So that's a TBD.
Justin Thomas. Or here, let's do this. You want Jordan Spieth on the team. You want Sam Burns on the team. You want Justin Thomas on the team. You want Colin Morikawa on the team. That's 10, okay?
Yep.
You agree or disagree?
Agree. I agree.
Okay. All right. So 11 and 12. So you got 2 spots left. I don't think you'd want to kick any one of those guys out for DJ. Okay.
Okay.
Number 11 is Kurt Kitayama. Okay.
See ya. Gone.
Okay. On the surface, I agree with that. Okay. Without even thinking about it, I would probably agree. But Kurt Kitayama is playing unfreaking believable golf so far. Especially I think he's got a win, and believe it or not, he got a win at the Arnold Palmer. He got second in the CJ Cup. He had a T4 at the PGA Championship. Now, he has had a pile of missed cuts too, but still, he's had some really, really good finishes.
He has. Man, that's awesome. See ya.
Sorry. Okay. All right. Kurt Kitayama. So Kurt Kitayama's out.
Okay? He's out. Yep.
Will Zalatoris is injured, so he's
out. He's not playing. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no problem. He said he is out until next year. He's done.
All right. 13 and 14 are Tony Finau. Or 13 is Wyndham Clark. 14 is Tony Finau.
Okay. Tony Finau, Wyndham Clark definitely out. Okay. Tony Finau, that comes down to this is when resume comes in. Tony Finau has not done as well as DJ when it comes to Ryder Cup and President Cup events.
We're not talking about that right now.
No, we're not.
Because
but that's what you have to consider that.
No, I don't think
it comes back to that.
The conversation is the golf they're playing right now. That was a conversation, not because we said if we're just looking at resume, okay, we got 10 in. Okay, so we got 11 and 12. So you got Tony Finau. Would you? I mean, I would want Tony Finau in there. Okay. Yes, sir.
If I'm choosing between he and DJ, I just take DJ.
Based off of what?
I know. I can't get that's like when you fell in love with Bryson and when you fell in love with Rory. There's just something in the back of my mind that tells me I gotta have that guy playing on my team for America.
What about Taylor Gooch? DJ's not even the best player on LIV right now. Best American player on LIV.
No, he's not. Taylor is
6th in points. Taylor Gooch and Charles Howell are ahead. Have played more consistent on the LIV. If we're talking, if his LIV qualifications count.
You know what DJ is, Kyle? DJ is the American version of Ian Poulter, but in a condensed / human volume type way. Ian Poulter has never played well going into the Ryder Cup, but they still put him on the team because they know he's going to win.
So right now, so basically you're kind of making my point.
I'm making your point. I give up. I'm making your point, and I'm sorry. That's just what I got to do.
Yeah.
I can't tell DJ you cannot be on this team because you went undefeated the last 2 freaking Ryder Cups.
So if Zach Johnson were to say all my picks are merit based right now, like I want the hottest golfers right now, do you think, I'm saying, does he have an argument to say if he were to pick someone? I mean, he could throw Taylor Gooch in there, but I mean, if he were to pick just go down the top 12, if he were to just pick the top 12, do you think he's justified? Or how do we work a live guy?
I will say this: what you just said, because Koepka's in. All right,
yeah,
he's
Koepka's in.
And so there's your live guy. So live can't bitch because he's in.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm wanting DJ in is just for the same thing that all the other Americans have said, including Scotty Scheffler, who said it in the post-game press conference, which they hated that he said that, where he said, I am playing for USA. I'm not playing for the PGA. I want to play for USA. In the locker room, I want DJ to be that guy representing the USA. And that's just me as being a teammate. If I'm picking now, Zach Johnson has full, if he does not pick DJ, I'm not going to be mad whatsoever because I will give you credit. He is not golf wise proven this year that he deserves to be on the team. If you're even resumes, as you just said, Taylor Gooch needs to take his spot. If you're going to pick a live guy, you take Gooch. You don't take.
I would take. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't take DJ. However, we all know that the Ryder Cup is a whole different ball game, and when captains make picks, they like to have people that are good in the locker room, elder statesmen, people that are going to bring something else to the table besides what you see on beyond the 18 holes of a golf course. And the guy that's undefeated in the Ryder Cup, I can't leave him off the team, man. I can't do it.
No, I mean, I get it. I get the whole, I guess the whole point was, and I've heard it. The only real way that you can rationalize, and I think it's a good argument because it's one that I would probably use. It's one that I would probably use if I was the captain. I would probably take DJ again, unless like he goes out and misses the next 2 major cut. Like if he makes the cut and he's just like, middle of the pack or top 20 finish, I just feel like he can get it going
I think he has a notch that he can dial into when he needs to.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
But if he flounders around, I know he just won at Tulsa. I know he just won the last live golf event. So like, I get it. That could be considered the quote unquote playing good now. I don't really know how to weight a live golf event. It's and maybe that's the discussion we have after we take a quick break. But I know he just won now, but the previous 2, Taylor Gooch won, and nobody's even remotely arguing for him to be on the Ryder Cup team. Like, I just don't even think I don't think DJ's the best live golf player right now from America. I will say this. I don't think he's second. I think he's at least third.
I think when it comes down to team events such as the Ryder Cup, Zach Johnson's going to have that hard conversation with a lot of players. He's going to have to talk to Colin. He's going to have to talk to JT. He's going to have to talk to Jordan. I think if you ask, let's just use those 3 right now. If Zach Johnson goes and says, Gooch, DJ, or Charles Howell, give me an answer right now. Who do you want? I think 3 out of 3 say DJ.
Probably. I mean, I legitimately would probably say Taylor Gooch.
From a number standpoint, I think he's the guy.
Yeah. I think he's probably playing the best. I think he's probably in the better form right now than DJ. I know he just missed the cut at the PGA Championship, but he made the cut at the Masters, T34, and then he's won 2 live golf events back to back. number one in the points. He's played pretty solid the whole year.
I'm sorry I didn't give you the answer you wanted, because I know you wanted me to like make it, but then I got to thinking about it. And I was like, I can't get that out of the back of my mind. I can't get out of,
Yeah.
you know, it's the same thing. It's the Michael Jordan thing. You know, when he got to be damn near 40 and he's playing for the Hornets and everybody's like, why is he on the All-Star team? Because he's friggin' Michael Jordan. That's why. And I think that's the same thing with this. Is somebody's like, well, he's not playing that great day to day, but he's okay in the majors, and he's a great team guy, and he's undefeated in the Ryder Cup. Yep, got to take DJ.
Like, now, if he rattles off like maybe a couple more wins, I'll take this. I'll just say this: if he was number one on the Live Golf Tour points, if he gets to number one, you can kiss my ass. He's in. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. I would take him. I would say, because after about the top five, to me, it sort of gets, muddy. In my opinion, just on like.
No, I agree with that. I listen.
They're top heavy. They're top heavy, and
you and I both are pro golf, but let's just call it what it is. After you get past about 6, 7, 8 and Live, those guys are not playing on team events. I'm sorry, they're not.
Yeah, it drops off. It does. But if he could get somewhere around number one, I mean, Taylor Gooch is ahead of Brooks Koepka, and so think about, and I know you got major Brooks and then you got regular golfer Brooks, but he's played really good golf for about the last 2 months now, and Gooch has beat him twice in that time frame. So I would, if DJ were to get to number one on the Live Golf list, I would say that's.
I think it also comes down to personalities, man. As I just said, Gooch has a friend or two on the PGA Tour. DJ does not have an enemy on the PGA Tour.
Right.
Like, they love him. Every one of them love him. I mean, that was Jordan Spieth literally said, if there's one guy I miss, it's DJ.
Was it DJ and Brooks that was the team that like just dominated everybody?
Yes. That's another thing. From the team aspect, you put those two out there who already are used to playing with one another.
Who's going to beat them?
I mean, it's tough to, as I love Taylor Gooch. I love the way he's playing right now. When you ask PGA Tour guys who they miss on the tour, his name doesn't come up. DJ's name comes up.
I'm with you.
So that's my take on it. Probably that's an emotional pick.
It is.
I'll own that.
A lot of feels there.
I will own that emotional pick. But damn it, until he just can't swing a club anymore, let's put him on. He's undefeated.
That's what I said. I said DJ. If I was the captain, DJ would have to really play himself off of the team instead of playing himself on. If that makes any sense. Look, we can argue over that, but this is one thing we don't argue over, and that is Bad Birdie golf apparel. Stuff is just incredible. Like, I can't even. I can try to do an ad read. They just dropped some more polos, guys. They just dropped like three new polos, and one of them I've got in my cart right now. Dude, go look at it. They've already dropped. They dropped 2 more already today. I mean, they've dropped like 15 new polos in the last week and a half. It's crazy.
Newest what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the bank account's just going to stay on empty is what it is. But use coupon code DAD15, take 15% off. Hey guys, this is I got this. I have got this ordered. They got a kid shirt. They got kid shirts that match.
What do you mean you ordered it? You ordered for Bub?
Yeah, I got me and Bub some matching shirts coming out. I can't wait for those. Those are going to be epic pictures, and he's going to think it's the greatest thing ever. But yeah, you can get match. Heck, if you really want to,
Bub thinks everything is the best thing ever.
If you really want to, you can match your wife too. They got women's apparel. They got women's apparel, and they got some sleeveless stuff that looks just like the men's polo, same prints. I mean, if you want to just go a whole family crew, you could. You could just dress everybody up the same. So Check them out. Great material, lightweight, breathable, stretchy, feels good, looks good, bright colors. You can save some money on already fairly priced, very
Look at
fairly
that.
priced polos,
That
in my
is
opinion. So check them
nocturnal
out.
by nature.
Yeah, check them out. Get you a hat.
Nocturnal by hell yes.
Get you a matching hat, pants. They got everything. So Bad Birdie Golf, check them out. All right, let's talk about.
My wife is gonna be so mad.
Let's talk about Ryder Cup points and criteria and how you even. I want to ask you. I want to ask you this a little bit. This is one thing. This is one thing that Bryson said, and I don't know how you fix this. I don't know how you fix this, but he's talking about how we qualify. Well, they got the point system, which is based off of money earned on the PGA Tour, the European Tour, things like that. So, like if you for certain events, for every $1,000 you make on the money list, you get 1 point towards the Ryder Cup. So, but the problem is none of the live stuff is obviously included in that.
Right.
And I don't know that it could because their prize money is way higher than like a regular PGA Tour event. So everybody gets paid. You know what I mean?
Unless you're an elevated event.
Well, still, I mean, the elevated events get more points for the dollars. Regardless, every event.
Yeah, DJ won $4 million last time. The most elevated event is paid on the PGA Tour is like 3.2.
Yeah. So even, but I'm saying like you're gonna win money regardless. So you can't like there has to be some sort of like there would have to be some sort of like exchange rate thing, like live golf.
Right.
You gotta have like $10,000 to get 1 point, or so there's got to be something they can do. But at the same on the same token, like shouldn't this have been something that maybe they couldn't, but like isn't the burden kind of on live?
Yes.
If you do a breakaway.
No, I completely yes. I've told you the shotgun start, the not clearing what it would take to do official world golf rankings points / PGA Tour points when they went ahead and kicked it off without getting that approved. All that stuff is completely on live. And I told you I'm a pro golf guy. Like I'm okay with I'm never one that's going to say where you can get your money. If a guy finds a better job somewhere else or a girl finds a better job somewhere else, go take it. Go do it. However, you got to live with the repercussions, no pun intended, with the live repercussions of what you turned your back on. And this whole point system, the fact that they didn't get this cleared up before they went ahead and jumped ship when they clearly these guys that are backing them had tons of money to wait. They could have waited and gotten all this cleared up and then done it, and they didn't do that. And so, it's 100% on live for not making sure that, hey, our guys can still compete with the PGA guys and still be qualified for Ryder Cup, President's Cup, now, whatever else may take place. That's
World Golf
them,
Rankings. Man. World Golf Rankings is a total different story. Like, there's no excuse. There's no reason why they shouldn't have World Golf Ranking points.
No, I agree with that. But again, as long as they do 3 rounds and shotgun start, that's why they're not going to get the World Golf Ranking. I'm sorry.
I think you do have to get it to where the onus is not on you anymore. Like they don't have any. You got to take all their ammo away. And maybe they'll eventually do that. I've always wondered why Liv didn't just like say, we're not going to necessarily be the Live Tour right now. We're going to just take all these guys to the Asian Tour, and we're just going to be the title sponsor on all the different Asian Tour events. And then
that would have been genius.
And then eventually kind of work your way into breaking away.
Like, you don't know what would have been better than that, Kyle?
What's that?
Well, they couldn't because it's PGA and USGA involved. If they'd have poured some money into like the Corn Ferry and helped grow the game with some of the younger guys, but they couldn't because that's tied to the PGA, so they couldn't.
They couldn't do that. a lot of these are probably offshoots of the PGA Tour, so I doubt they could have. It probably couldn't have worked. It would have had to be a separate tour, or maybe like one of those, like an independent, like the Sunshine Tour, like on Gulf Coast, like these mini tours or something like that. Just,
hey man, take a page out of John Day Hooters tour. Get the Hooters plane going.
Yeah.
Do the Hooters tour.
I don't know. I don't like. One thing I don't like about the live arguments, and it's a lot of the guys use them, is essentially like, it's kind of like y'all have to change to allow us in, and like it's not like you got to change everything you do to suit us now,
right?
You know what I mean? And instead of us trying to get our deal situated to where we just kind of seamlessly flow in, and you don't really have any excuses not to. Like they gave you a bunch of excuses not to do X, Y, and Z. So,
right.
You know, it's very tough. It's very tough it would be very tough for one of them to qualify, because you only got 4 opportunities. Now you got 4 really good opportunities that like double your points, double your money points. So, like you said, like we said, Brooks has a win, and he is number 2. Like it's going to be,
he's got a win and a top 5 finish. He's in. I mean,
yeah. So
unless he just misses the next 2 cuts, which may drop him out. I don't know, but
yeah,
I think if he makes a cut in the next 2 majors, they can't do anything about it.
No, they can't do anything about it. Now, what could get sketchy is if he drops past 6, which he's not super duper far ahead of Cam Young, and Cam Young's going to play in every daggum tournament that he's got, that's available for him to play in. So, Cam's only about 2,000 points. So that's what, if Cam makes, what's 2? I don't even really want to do that math, but I mean, it's still a fair amount of money that Cam's got to make in place to get to pass Brooks, but it could happen. There's a lot of golf left to play, and Brooks is still going to have like good finishes. It's easy right now. It's really easy right now to say, oh, sure, he's in, he's qualified, because I don't think they feel like he can still be there.
I think that's also because they're taking into account he plays so well in majors, top 5 finish in Masters, win here. I did find it interesting what Brandel said, even though he said some really bad stuff.
We're going to talk about that. But we're going to save that for the last segment about what Brandel said. But don't.
Well, I'm gonna let you wait on that. But in regards to the tournament, I thought it was odd that he said the PGA Championship was the hardest field to play in, because he said that the Masters was, of course, all the old codgers and the bottom 30 that are on there, all the old people. He said the U.S. Open, you've got so many qualifiers, they've never played. I always thought the U.S. Open was the hardest field. And when he said, yeah, but the U.S. Open, you got so many people that qualified that aren't used to this level of competition, they don't matter when it comes to that. And I was like, you know what? I never really thought of it that way. That's a good point. And then you got the British Open / Open Championship, which is a lot like the Masters. You got a lot of old guys that are getting pushed in because of history.
Like a good mixture between the Masters and the U.S. Open.
And so when he said that about the PGA Championship, I was like, I never thought of it that way. It probably is the toughest field, even though it is known as the forgotten major. So people need to kind of take that into account, because I didn't think about it that way in the U.S. Open. There's so many people that qualified that don't have that level of experience. They don't matter when they come into the U.S. Open.
Sure.
So I get that. When he said that, I was like, okay, finally something I agree with that he said, because you know me, I'm a anti-Brandel guy, but not as much as you. I have not been blocked, by the way, on Twitter, but
yeah, we're going to talk about a confrontation that happened at the end of the PGA Championship that I thought was pretty interesting, considering who dealt what I call the death blow to Brandel. But we'll talk about that right after this. All right, so we wanted to talk about the confrontation that happened between Brandel and Brad Faxon. at the end of the PGA Championship. They were talking about the Ryder Cup. And I really don't know. I don't know exactly how the flow of the whole conversation, but Brandel was being Brandel, talking about they're just doing it for, doing it for the money, doing it for this, doing it for that, blah, 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 blah. And Brad was like, Brandel, like, they don't play for money in the US, in the Ryder Cup. They don't play for money. They just play for their country. And Brandel, like, yep, they don't play for their tour. They're just playing for their country. And it's like, nobody's playing for the tour. It's not a tour thing.
Nobody plays for the PGA.
But yeah,
they don't have a PGA logo on there. That's an American logo right there.
When Brad Faxon said they don't play for money, Brandel was like, "What? I have no response." You ever seen is it Old School, where they're in the debate at the end?
Yes.
Will Ferrell goes into this, like, blacks out, goes into this long time, and the guy says, I have no response. That was perfect. It was very
it's Carvel, James Carvel, the guy from LSU. Yeah, he's like, I have no response whatsoever.
That was argued beautifully.
That was perfect.
That was perfect. Yeah. That was the perfect line. And Brandel, he made all his comments. Oh yeah, it's the best players money can buy. Like he said, like he had all these things that he was like had to get in. And yeah, I'm so proud that I have him. He's blocked me on Twitter. So it's I think as time goes on, people aren't as mad anymore, like nearly as mad anymore. And Brandel is becoming a huge turnoff to, I think, even people within the Golf Channel and people that work with him. I could be really wrong.
You're totally right. Two things came out this week. I don't know if you saw them. Former Golf Channel employee. She called him a bully.
Is her last name Walters?
Yeah, she called him a bully. Said he's a bully around the office.
In a book she wrote.
Yeah. The other was Harmon, Butch's son,
Claude.
Came forth, and he made a very fantastic point where Brandel keeps pushing on the Saudi money and how Saudi money tied to this, Saudi money tied to that. However, he refuses to Google what Saudi money backs within the United States right now, which he, number one, is a part of. Number two, he works for the company, NBC, that has covered the Olympics in China
and Russia,
a communist country, and Russia, a communist country, but yet he still takes his paycheck, yet has the gump to fire off fireballs at those guys for taking a paycheck from somebody that is
questionable at best,
quote unquote questionable. So yeah, he is really hurting himself. And at this point, Kyle, has he gone too far? He can't go back now. I mean, he can't say, hey, I was wrong. He can't say,
got to double down.
Yeah, yes. He's got to double down. And the bad part is he's losing his assets. The Brad Faxons of the world, who were against LIV, but now are saying, Ryder Cup, they're playing for the United States of America. They're not playing for LIV. They're not playing for the PGA.
Nope.
It does not also help him that you and I were talking about before. Somebody like the European Tour players, Padre Harrington being number one that said it, we want to see the best golfers. We don't care where they come from.
Yep.
We don't care who they play with. We just care that they're the best golfers that we get to see. And that's where he's losing his argument. He's losing it because, number one, he's contradicting himself, where he takes his money as opposed to where he's blaming everybody for taking their money. But number two is he doesn't want to see the best golfers. He just wants to see the PGA Tour represented. That's it.
Well, I feel like you somewhat have a leg to stand on if you're arguing that maybe you don't think they should be able to play in majors, or they shouldn't be able to play on PGA Tour events. You may have somewhat of a leg to stand on, but when it's like We just want, like, they didn't renounce their citizenship to join Live Golf. Like, they're still Americans, they're still American golfers. So
You have a leg to
Ryder
stand
Cup,
on anything that is PGA related because they turn their back on the PGA Tour. If
sure,
it's PGA related, but if it's USGA related, if it is world related, if it is USA related, you have zero
sure.
leg to stand on.
I'm with you. I'm with you there. At this point in time, they joined another company. They didn't like burn up. They didn't renounce their citizenship. They're still Americans. And if you can get the best 12 Americans together, and you want to pick one of these guys, I think you should be able to pick one of these guys. But I don't think just them being on the Live Tour disqualifies them. There's a lot of things that I would take into account, but what tour they play on would not have anything to do with that. It would.
No, if
You're cheating,
honestly,
you're cheating the fans. That you're cheating the American golf fans, in my opinion.
if you have a guy that did like Brooks when he got out of college, he went to the European Tour, what was called the European Tour, now the DP World Tour, which is still funny that it's DP, but still, he went there. If at that time he would have been one of the best golfers in the world, seek that guy out. Europeans do that. Do you notice that when we see the Ryder Cup, there are guys on the European team that we don't see on the PGA Tour every day? Yeah. Like, they pick the best. The American, and even Luke Donald has said he's picking the best. Sorry. Nobody's excluded. He said there's guys on the Live Tour I'm looking at. There's guys on Asian Tour that there's guys everywhere I'm looking at. Hey, the Americans seem to be the only ones that are like, no, they're on a different tour. We can't do that. Dude, if they're American born and they're a great player, I don't care if they're just the club pro. Put them on the team.
Dang, what happened to Thomas Peters? At one point in time, he was like third or something like that in the PGA Championship.
He petered out.
He petered out. Oh, he shot 69.76. Okay, that'll do it. 16. He played really good the first day, then he shot 76.
I cracked myself up.
Yep. I think that's probably it. I think we'll probably go the next show we do will probably be scenario heavy, maybe.
Yeah.
We want to break it up. It's about to be, we want to have some fun. I've got some ideas for some good scenarios. So we're going to do a good old classic scenario show the next time that we talk. So y'all have a great rest of the week.
It is Memorial Day.
It's Memorial Day. Enjoy your long weekend.
Do it for the right reason. These guys lost their lives. Speaking of America, they lost their lives for us, and ultimate sacrifice. Kyle and I are probably going to see one another on Monday.
Yep.
Hopefully there'll be some photos taken because I have a new bag we're going to drop soon on social, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Kyle has not made fun of the color of the bag yet. I don't know why.
I couldn't really make it out. So I'm really ready to see it in person. So
it's purple.
It's purple. Okay. Well, there's some purple in the logo, so it'll work. It'll work. But so stay tuned for that. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy the holiday. Be careful in traffic, and eat some smoked meats. Eat a lot of smoked meats this weekend. So
smoke your meat.
Smoke your meat. Episode 286 of the Dad Bod Golf Pod.
Got it sideways.
And we're always stroking.
Always stroking.